Hello and welcome. Today we are celebrating a very special milestone, 40 years of Rotary Club of Winnipeg-Charleswood. For 4 decades, the members of our club have come together to serve, lead and make a difference in our community and beyond. In this video, we will hear stories from some of the incredible people who built this club, shaped its spirit and keep it growing. I am Nick Kobish. I am proud to be part of this legacy. And let's begin with one of our founding members, John Inglis, as he shares how it all started.
The first time I even heard of the thought of the Charleswood Rotary Club was when I was still in the PA with the Rotary. And I'd been transferred to Winnipeg, coming soon, and the district governor was in the PA, and he heard that, and he said, well, we want to form a club in Charleswood. I didn't pay any attention to what he said. 4 or 5 months later, we were in our house in Charleswood, and I get a phone call from the district governor. It was Colin Ransom at the time. And he took me aside and he said, so you're going to be in Rotary in Winnipeg? I said, yep. I said, I've already been to a meeting at the Assiniboine Club and I'm going to join there. And he's all talk to you about that. I get another phone call from this district governor. And he said, let's get together and discuss the new club. And I said, well, I'm going to join this Assiniboine Club. He says, no. He says, I will forbid that. I'm the district governor. He couldn't do it, but what do I know? So we sat down for a meeting. He says, no, we're going to have, you live in Charleswood, we're going to have a Rotary Club in Charleswood. So they started, a few people at a meeting, and guys like Zacharias came along who knew a lot of people, and Dave Morris, people who were local businessmen, and a couple of us were members here at Breezy Bend. And so we approached the management here and they said, by all means, we can handle you here. And so we've been here for 4 or 5 years now, I guess. This location has helped our club grow. I personally think we're probably the best operating club, Rotary Club in Winnipeg right now. There are some clubs that, they're struggling to keep going, and where we've never had any problems. We've been able to attract good people who are willing to put the effort in, and it makes a big difference.
Welcome, Bert.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Assiniboine Forest. Beautiful part of our city and a big part of our club story.
Well, there was a fellow who had an idea, and there was the 3 of us that met back in 92 or 91, I guess. So when we started, we heard that we weren't allowed to bring any equipment in, and anything we did, we had to do manually. Equipment wasn't allowed in the forest. We had to, chips were delivered just inside the gate, and so we used wheelbarrows with shovels and rakes and forks to haul it in there. We started building the trail, so it was a bit of a challenge. But it brought the club together, I think. The members had something to do as a team, as a club, and this was something we could sink our teeth into. There's so many things that happened over the years where we had schools come in, for example. We had part of the school program to come in. The idea at that time was to make accessible to even people with wheelchairs or what have you, but it takes time to do something like that. So I guess we're still working on it. I saw a classroom sitting in the grass, and the kids were just Google-eyed, they didn't understand what was going on. I thought, this is really great because these kids are going to learn something. They'll grow up and appreciate nature, and that to me was very important. The other thing was building the boardwalk. That helped us a long ways to help people just fall across the water there. And extending the trail has been huge from where we started. I said there was nothing when we got there, so it's been great.
Jack Wilson is current chair of our Assiniboine Forest Committee. Hi, Jack.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good.
Tell us, where are the things with the Assiniboine Forest today, and what is the vision for the future?
Today we've had a successful year. We completed about 0.72 kilometers of improving a trail to totally accessible trail in the fall. We've redone the entranceway, our Chalfon, so it's gone along really well. Our plans for the coming year will be to try and get an education area for children to come, along with accessible washroom. And down the road, we're hoping to add another parking lot off of Chalfon.
Why this project is still so important to our community and to our club?
Well, it's a very visible project, and with the new sign that we have on Grant Avenue, advertising it's a forest, it makes it quite prominent and good advertising for us. But the forest sees over 170,000 people a year that come and visit it. And so that's a very high number of visitors, and it's very accessible, and it's good for the community. It benefits the community from an economical point of view, but also from an environmental perspective. So it's awesome. It's the largest natural forest in in Canada.
What do you love most about working for Forest?
The enjoyment you get to see with people and doing something that's going to last for an extended period of time to benefit the community and, as I said, and the people that use it.
Our next guest is a strong leader in our club. She is the past president and the driving force behind Bridge of Hope, the project that helped many Ukrainian families who started a new life in Canada. Welcome.
Bridge of Hope started about 3 years ago after we adopted our 2 children, Anya and Artem, from Ukraine. We adopted them in October of 2021. And then months later, the war in Ukraine broke out. Our Rotary Club and many people from the neighboring community as well were coming to me saying, how can we help? So my sister was flying in from Seattle to meet our children for the first time. She gets off the plane and she's so excited to meet the kids, but she says, it's so great to see you guys, but you got to meet Jane. And I'm like, who's Jane? And that's when it all started. So she introduced me to Jane. We stayed in touch. Once she got into her apartment, she contacted me and said, okay, I could use some help now with furniture. And so I said, okay, what do you need? And she said, a table and a bed. And they're like, you need more than a bed and a table. We went and started reaching out to the community to try and collect donations. We did it very organically, even with just posters up in the community, some Facebook posts, etc. And the donations were pouring in. We helped Jane, but the furniture kept coming in. And that's when I reached out to Jane and said, okay, Jane, can you connect us with some families that you might have met? Because I've got more furniture to give away. And then it happened the other way. So now I'm getting flooded with people who need furniture and I don't have enough to support everybody. So that's really where the furniture drives began. 2.5 years later, we've supported through the furniture drives 402 families.
Wow.
So it was pretty incredible with volunteers. I've estimated to be over 7,000 of volunteer hours with 20 to 30 volunteers showing up every 2 weeks.
How Winnipeg-Charleswood Rotary Club get involved into used furniture business?
I guess I'm guilty of that. I knew that as Rotarians we're incredibly resourceful and that we would figure out a way to make that work. And the community itself was just very generous. So they made it easy.
Do you have good memories from the past events?
You know, it wasn't just about the furniture and meeting that need, but it was really about the people we were helping, and they were so appreciative of the help. The first initial furniture drives, I was crying every furniture drive. It was very emotional to see, you know, one, how people were living here in our city when, you know, we're going home to the comforts of our home. We have a TV, we have games for the kids to play, we have everything that we need. Many people not wanting to take furniture or dishes. Like we would have a set of four dishes, like 4 plates, 4 cups, 4 soup bowls, like you know, a normal set. And they would be like, oh, I just need 2 plates, there's only 2 of us. It's like, no, take the whole set. And what they didn't know was that we had tons of donations coming in. We needed them to take it so that we could make space in the store to put the stuff out. So they wanted to leave enough for other families that were in need. And it's just the people of Ukraine are just so special in that way.
What is the future of the Bridge of Hope?
Furniture drives came to a natural close. There was less families coming on, and the families that we were getting on our waiting list. But now with the leftover money we have, we're going to do an adult bursary program where adults wanting to go back to school can then apply for a grant with us to either learn a new trade or get the certification they might need for a trade that they were already doing back in Ukraine. So
what have you learned from helping to newcomers?
So much. But I think it's just seeing firsthand the resiliency of people.
Thompson has played a key role in our international projects and the club foundation. Welcome, Ed.
Thank you.
One of the things that we first started was shelter box, and there was there was projects before that, but in the Philippines it was a tornado or a hurricane that went through there, and so a lot of club members were contributing to that. There's another project that we've supported with the Survival Gardens, which was basically supplying, instead of women carrying big bottles of water on their head, they ended up making 40-gallon barrels that you could actually push or pull. So they could do 40 gallons in a shot instead of on their head. Another one was where we supported a program in Africa, was called for mosquito nets, which was trying to prevent people from getting malaria, right? And then there was the other one was just recently we were doing stoves, supporting stoves being built in Guatemala, where women were cooking over fire, and of course they had lung problems, lung disease. So another group of Rotarians decided that they would design, and they did design stoves where the smoke actually didn't come in the room anymore.
Why global project is important to you and to Rotary?
Well, you know, when you go to different places in the world, you find out that people are the same. And you find out that when you know people in an area, it hits you more, and you become more conscious about what's going on. So I think it's really important to get out and meet other people in different parts of the world, and you find out that they're human the same as we are.
I'm here with Jim Forrester, longtime member and our club's first district governor. Let's talk about our biggest fundraiser, the Lobster Dinner.
We've been doing it for more than 35 years, and it's grown from a backyard party to serving 600 people every year. I came to the club in '86, and they started, I think, that year or the next year, and it just kept growing. And now the Lobster Fest that's where we get the money for our community projects, our international projects. It's a great project. It gives us the funds we need, we have fun doing it, and we all feel pretty good about it when we're finished.
Over the years, we collaborated with many organizations.
We have, yes. Yeah.
Can you call, please, a few of them?
Well, Chamber of Commerce, the Shriners, 199 Air Cadet Squadron, several Rotary clubs. And the other great thing about Lobster Fest is that virtually every member of the club gets involved in some way, either setting up or actually running it or helping put the food together. Everybody participates, and lots of partners of Rotarians participate too. So that's nice. A good club event.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We're all looking forward for the next Lobster Dinner.
Good. Tell all your friends.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Nick.
Now I'm with Dave Morris, one of our charter members who played a key role in many activities. Hi, Dave.
How you doing? Good to see you tonight.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Over the years, we welcomed and sent many exchange students over the years. Can you please tell about some highlights and maybe a few challenges?
Well, the club got involved in the student exchange just after the club was chartered. And the idea of the student exchange is it enhances the club's ability to recognize young people, and it brings a world information to the club. If you did get a student from, say, Australia or South Africa, it enhances the club's ability to kind of understand their society. So the club has been very fortunate over the years to have hosted many students. Probably we've hosted 30 to 40 students over the 40-year period. Nancy and I have been fortunate to host 18 students. We had 2 at one time. When you take a student into your home, you're taking a daughter or a son. It's just like your own family. And they bring excitement, like you go to the high school and watch them play the sports. So they're your family, and you stay in touch with them.
Is our club still active in student exchange program?
Yes and no. Like we're sending out a student, or we're sponsoring a student outbound this year, but no, we're not really active in the student exchange at the moment. The club has a budget for student exchange, So the students, when they get together here for meetings among all the students, the club sponsors them to go to these meetings. So that's part of it. So the student exchange is good. I think it hopefully can be more active in the future.
Hello, Chuck.
Good evening. Good to see you, Nick.
Can you please tell us how our club helped over the years West Grove School?
Started off basically looking after helping them with nutrition. It's an area that has a lot of single families, single parents, and some of the kids were coming to school without breakfast. So we supplied a number of things, both for breakfast and for lunch. One of the big things is the library. This year we supplied over 80 books to the library, all on request from the librarian. So these are books that they wouldn't normally get because they're a little bit off the cuff. And also supplying gym shoes, runners, because a lot of the kids come to school and they don't have anything. And we supply quality runners. They're Reebok, Nikes, New Balance. Also we have about 8 or 10 garden boxes set up, and the kids are responsible for looking after it. We supply the seeds, bedding plants. They've always gotten a crop off. They get potatoes. We supply beans, carrots, and also for aesthetics, we supply flowers.
Do you have any memories with one of the students that we supported that you'd like to share?
There's one young kid there, and he's in grade 6, and he was probably pushing 6 feet tall. And he had, I forget what size his feet actually were. They were like 14 or 15. Like, this is just a big kid. So we supplied him with a special pair of runners so he could, go and use the gym for gym classes. And then even after he left the school, we continued, we supplied him with 2 more pairs in junior high. And then I think in high school was the last pair that he got. So I'm hoping, I don't know what he was doing, but I'm hoping he was playing basketball.
One word to describe our club.
Friendly.
Friendship.
Educational.
Welcoming.
Awesome, fantastic.
Interesting.
Service.
Busy.
Amazing, family-oriented.
Volunteering.
One word would be welcoming.
Generous.
Friendly.
Busy.
Active and giving.
That's true.
True.
That's okay.
Giving.
Fellowship and friends.
Teamwork. It's collective.
I like the camaraderie.
Service.
Enthusiastic. Dynamic.
Active.
Fellowship.
Friendly.
What is your favorite Rotary memory?
Last Monday when a fox walked by while we were eating dinner.
The day that I came into Rotary for the first time in '98, not knowing anybody and how well I was welcomed.
Attending international conferences, going to Argentina, going to Scotland.
Painting the green team storage shed in the Assiniboine Forest.
Work we do in the forest and the fellowship that brings.
Forest and working on the forest.
Being in the forest.
Seeing the progress in the forest.
Back in India, I started and left India.
Getting my certificate last time I came.
I think go to the international conference in Chicago. I really like the Rossbrook House dinner.
Probably Brazil.
Meeting new people.
Nancy being district governor.
The sergeant at arms, finding the members. My wife getting a couple of Paul Harris's.
It's hard to say. I think Mandy probably.
One memory that stands out most to me is actually my first meeting I ever came to.
The golf tournament.
I would say working with the Ukrainian project, the Bridge of Hope, Ukraine.
Being district governor.
Youth exchange students that we hosted over the years, all wonderful young people.
Boy that I was telling you about, Nick, that got the size. Probably the first pair of good runners he ever had that fit him.
What is something Rotary gave you that you didn't expect?
Happiness, friendship, just a wonderful, warm feeling. When I can have the worst day ever, and when I'm driving out here, I feel my smile getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
The love in my community that I never knew was there.
A sense of community and interest about the community at large.
The ability to take on projects that I would have never even dreamt of.
Teamwork and collaboration outside of club meetings.
Oh, fellowship.
Community.
Something to do on a Monday night.
Purpose?
The gift of teamwork.
Everybody in the club, every member wants to help you.
Fairness, the four-way test, I try to use that in my life.
Find people who are like-minded about charity and giving.
New acquaintances that I would have never met if I hadn't joined Rotary.
I met some wonderful people with similar interests.
Lots of friends. I was going to say the same thing, friendships.
Meet people through Rotary and you become friends through Rotary, and that's what makes it special.
A lot of friends, family.
Rotarian of the Year award.
I think building friendships, getting to know people, fellowship.
The fellowship and the friendship that developed.
Connections.
Travel.
Sense of community. Partners, good friends.